My eighth tip on reading the Bible is know the genre. That might not be a word you've ever thought about since GCSE English, but it just means the type of writing. I wonder if you ever think about the type of writing that you're reading. I don't think most of us do. I think we just absorb it naturally. A bit like, how do you know the difference between a newspaper and a novel? Well, most of that is they look different. They're very different physically. They use a slightly different style of writing, often sometimes a very different style of writing, and we kind of pick that up subconsciously, and so we interpret them differently. We expect to find different things in them, and we understand them differently as we do so. I think we can often pick up the Bible and think, well, it looks like a Bible, it smells like a Bible, I guess it's a Bible, and so that must be the type of writing it is. And what we're doing is we're forgetting that we're holding something with over 40 different authors written over more than 1,500 years, with a wide array of different types of writing. Yes, all telling one story. Yes, all communicating the truth of God to us. But different kinds of writing written to different groups of people for different reasons. And thinking about that can be helpful when we're trying to interpret them. If we don't think about the kind of writing we're reading, actually we can't make sense of anything. We make genre assumptions all the time when we're reading, and that's really helpful as long as we're right. If you try and read Cinderella as though it were an ancient Near Eastern apocalypse, all of a sudden you get very, very confused. That might sound like a strange thing, but I have actually written Cinderella as an ancient Near Eastern apocalypse. It's very weird and doesn't make a lot of sense. It is difficult for us to take God at his word if we don't think about the kind of writing that we're reading. Should we take the Bible literally? Well, yes, if by literally we mean according to its literature, according to its genre. We should believe it's true, but true as it intended to be, so true according to the kind of writing that we're reading. We would naturally read a narrative that's supposed to be a historical report differently to poetry. Not all of the Bible is written in the same genre. The earth doesn't literally have a nose, but the writer didn't think it did. The woman in the Song of Songs would look very bizarre if she was put together literally, but instead these are metaphors to describe what she looks like. And those are two obvious examples, and most of us reading it wouldn't think that the writer did think that the earth stood on pillars, or that it had a face and therefore a nose. We'd understand that to be a metaphor. But we need to think like that when we're reading to make sure that we're reading as the author intended us to. So that being the case, how do you figure it out? Well, sometimes it tells you. Certainly all the letters start by telling you they're a letter written from someone to someone else. Really helpful start. Secondly, we learn to recognise what they look like by reading them and by getting a hang of what those different genres, what those different kinds of writing look like and what they feel like, so that when we're reading Daniel we notice that there's a genre shift and suddenly we seem to be in a different kind of writing to we were, say in chapter 7 to we were in chapter 1. As I often say, we learn in community, and so as other people around us talk about the kinds of writing, as we're discussing the Bible as we're reading it, we learn what kinds of writing are in it and what genres we're looking for. And finally, we'll see if I make it, but I'm intending to make a series of videos to talk through what some of those different genres are like and what they feel like and what it's like to read them and how we might go about interpreting them differently.